so I want to welcome everybody to our advanced smartphone settings class on iLearnReview.com. You can always view this online, but today we're going to be talking about stuff for the smartphone. Now, generally, this is going to relate to an iPhone. I know I have one friend back here who has an Android. Everybody else has iPhone? Yes? Okay, so when we get a little bit later in the class, I'm going to hand you back one of my iPhones, and you can have at it with my iPhone. It'll work on iPads as well. So I'm going to talk about things that you've probably not heard of before. That's the goal. There'll be some things you've heard of before, but there'll be a lot of things you'll be like, wow, I didn't know that. My goal is not to show you stuff you already know. Cool? Does that make sense? I'm not going to show you things you already know. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that never generally gets talked about, which is the case on your phone. Go ahead and hold up your phone case. I'm looking for all my phone cases. I brought an extra phone case with me, a really cool phone case. I'm going to pull some of your phone cases. I'm looking for my phone case that I brought. I brought one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, there it is. It's so hard to find. So let me see. I'm going to steal this one. Let me see. I'm looking for a specific type of case. Anybody got a clear case? Yeah, this one. And I'm going to steal yours as well. Yeah. Okay. So cases for these phones come in all different shapes and sizes. We agree.
Yes.
I want to show you some good cases and some not so good cases. And I'm going to not make anybody feel bad. I've just grabbed a nice selection of cases. Now, out of these cases, 2 of them are good and 1 of them is bad. Does anybody want to take a guess about the bad case here?
Clear? The clear one. I have one of those.
The clear one, yes. The clear one. Now, here's what I want to say. One of the main things we do with our phone is we take pictures, correct? And when we take pictures, you always get reflections off of the color white, or the color clear, or the absence of color. If I were to turn the flash on this phone, you see how it kind of resonates around the case? It makes it so the light bounces back into the lens differently, and you actually get a worse picture. That's one of the things I wanted to mention, because I think it's really interesting. You actually get a worse picture. Now you notice that even though she has a white OtterBox case, do you see it's surrounded with the black? So they've intentionally put the black there, and you notice yours is surrounded with black. So I want you to look at the back of your camera. Don't worry, I'm not putting your phone down. I want you to look at the back of your phone where the camera is and see if it's black or not. Is it black?
That's black.
Black or nothing is fine as well.
Right.
Because you're not going to reflect off of any surfaces, and that's one of the major things. Now, here's the funny thing. You all have front cases, back cases, everything like that. I want to show you the simplest case in the world. That is actually one of the best cases ever made. It's this right here. People are looking at what the hell is wrong with you? That's not a case. So this is a really interesting case. It's called a Rhino Shield. You can drop your phone out of a helicopter with this on, and it'll be perfectly fine.
Really?
And they've done it. If you go on their website, you can see all these. This is not my normal case I use. I'm going to show you my case I use every day. But this is just a really nice, sleek case. Shows the performance of the phone. But here's the most important thing about this case. It has a lip for the front and a lip for the back, meaning if it hits, the phone is not going to hit. If it hits the side, the phone is not going to hit. This is anodized aluminum. This is pretty okay. You're not going to worry about scratching this up. But what you've got is, this is a case I like to use when I like to go slim. When I want to go slim, I put it in this case. It's called a Rhino Shield. It's quite an interesting case. Now, do any of you have a battery case on your phone? Okay, what phone do you have? You have a... Okay, you're gonna love this battery case I'm about to show you. This is my daily driver case. This is from Mophie, and I put the name of this case here. I put the name of the case right there. It's called the Mophie Juice Pack Air.
And that's a battery case?
And it's a battery case. But it does something that no other battery case does. I promise you now. What color? It's black, so it meets that specification. It has an additional charge for my phone inside of it. So it's got the additional capacity of the phone battery. I have one on my iPhone 6S as well, but it's got a really cool trick. I never plug my phone in to charge it. My case has wireless charging built into it.
What?
Yes. So my case has wireless charging built into it. Now here's something very interesting. I brought this to show you. Now everybody goes, well, why doesn't Apple have wireless charging in the phone? Well, what is the back of all of the iPhones? What material is the back of all of the iPhones? It's metal. You can't inductively charge through metal. So in order to make a wirelessly charged iPhone, the back of the iPhone either needs to be plastic or glass. Is Apple going to make the back of an iPhone plastic?
No.
No. Could they theoretically make the back of an iPhone glass?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a Samsung Galaxy S7. This is my phone. This is not one that explodes. That's That's the Note 7. But the back of this phone is glass. Therefore, it can wirelessly charge. Now, if you look under my iMac right over there, and you can see on the way out, there's actually a little black plate under my iMac. And I can take that little black plate, I put it there, and it wirelessly charges. The problem is I don't have one phone. I don't have 2 phones. I don't have 3 phones. I don't have 4 phones. I have 5 phones. And I have to keep all 5 of these phones charged. So what I have is I have a wireless charging base that will charge 3 phones at a time. So I'm going to show it to you because I brought it up. I actually took it from my cabin. I'm going to get this right here.
Very cool.
And then I just have the little thing in them or the Mophie case?
Yes, so the little Mophie case has the wireless charger in it, and I put it right there, and it'll charge up. It's actually already charging because I turned on the battery already. Let me turn off the battery. Okay.
So you don't need to keep sticking that thing in.
You don't need to keep sticking the plug in.
Oh,
So if I go like that, hold on, I'm going to explain to you the cost of the Mophie case and all that, but I line up all my phones like this at the end of the night. I wake up in the morning, everything's fully charged. That's how I get through a day. And the nice thing is you go, well, what if I have something that doesn't charge wirelessly? I'm going to tell you what the name of this guy is. This guy's cool. It actually has a USB port, and that's where I plug my Apple Watch into. So I take one plug it into my wall, drop all 3 of my phones I'm going to use the next day. So today I was going to use 2 iPhones and an Android. So I drop all 3 of my phones I'm going to use the next day onto this charger. It charges them all up with one plug.
What about an iPad?
Not an iPad yet. Not an iPad yet. Technically you can do an iPad, but it would take too long to wirelessly charge an iPad because an iPad's got a much bigger battery.
Okay.
So this doesn't charge as fast as plugging in a wall. It takes about 3 or 4 hours to charge up the phone itself, plus charge up the battery case. This will get juiced up fully in about 6 hours. So just to give you an idea, and now it's charging. Any guess where this thing comes from?
Amazon.
I'm going to give you the name of it, and maybe this will help you. Okay? No. It's called the Nord Mark III.
Sweden.
Very close, very close. Try again, try again.
Norway.
No. Like something in Sweden. IKEA! IKEA!
How do you spell Nord, N-O-R-D?
If you just look up IKEA wireless charger, you will find it. IKEA actually makes wireless chargers. It's called the Nord Mark, N-O-R-D-M-A with 2 dots on top of it, RKE3, but they make a Nord Mark, which is just one, and they make ones that are built into tables, ones that are built into lamps, built into everything. Now here's the thing. You'll notice that in some airports, you see those Verizon stands in the airports that have the wireless charging on it. They say, put wireless here. Wireless charging has not gotten big yet. Do you know why? Because the iPhone doesn't charge wirelessly yet. There's a consortium called the WPC, or the Wireless Power Consortium, that Apple just joined about 2 months ago. They would not join the Wireless Power Consortium unless they were considering making something that charged wireless power. So as soon as Apple makes the phones that natively charge wirelessly, do you think wireless charging is going to be all over? It's going to be all over. I can guarantee you, it'll probably be on the counter in the Edge class ships. Who knows? You might have. I didn't say anything out loud, but I didn't say a word, did I?
Then the iPads will have it.
So the answer is this tech is they joined the Wireless Power Consortium about 2 months ago. You can read into that however you want to read, but you can get wireless charging right now. So if you have with the case, but this is a battery case that does wireless charging. And my phone, I've been on my phone all day. It's 4 o'clock right now. I got up around 9:30. My phone's still at 100%.
How good is it at protecting the phone?
It's pretty good at protecting the phone, but the major thing we're going to talk about protection, what's really cool is people can predict where this class is going, and that's a good thing. That means I designed it well, because the next thing we're going to talk about is protecting the screen.
Okay, yes,
So you can kind of predict where the class is going, so it's good. Yeah.
So I had a Mophie, and it made the phone almost twice as heavy.
Yeah, the old ones did.
So here's the thing.
It made what?
Heavy.
It's not that bad. Pass it around. You can
And
see.
they didn't do wireless charging either.
No, the wireless charging ones just came out very, very recently.
So
But
do
you
you
can pass.
have to have the Mophie and that thing, or is there another wireless?
There's other. So the Mophie comes with the wireless charger. You can get a single position. I just have this 3-position one, so you can see what's going on. Because I have 3 phones.
But the Mophie has a battery pack, extra battery.
The Mophie has an extra battery as well. They're a lot slimmer than they used to be. That's why they call it the Juice Pack Air. So it's about half the weight that the Mophies used to be. So it makes
So
the
are
phone a
you
little
charging
bit
the battery pack, or are you charging the iPhone? with
I am
the
charging, the nice thing is the Mophie has this very smart charging circuit in it. It's actually charging the phone first and the battery pack second.
Okay.
So it has a smart charging circuit. Now, you said, How does that protect your phone? I'm going to bring out something that I don't like to bring out, but I can bring it out. Where is it? Okay, here we go. This is a screen protector. I love them. You can't hate them. This is a glass screen protector. You hate them, but if you hate them, that's why you will get a broken screen, so learn to love them. I just ordered 4 more of these from Amazon. I break my screen probably once every 2 weeks. I'll be completely honest.
Break your screen?
Not my screen. I break my screen protector.
Oh, protector. Oh.
Once every 2 weeks or so. You are correct. I throw them on the floor. I pay no attention. I throw my laptop on top of my phone on my bed. It's okay. But here's the important thing. If a glass screen protector breaks, it is the glass on the screen protector that breaks. You can't, but if you ever were to go down to my cabin, what I have is on my glass, I have a big piece of glass, I actually have all the broken screen protectors stuck up on the glass. Here's the most important thing. If you need to put a glass screen protector on your device. If you put a glass screen protector on your device, you're protecting it better than anything else. Do we all have a glass screen protector on our device?
No.
Okay.
I've got it on
If you don't, it's time. I will tell you, I just ordered, personally, because we're going over to Europe, I ordered a whole bunch of iPhone 6 ones, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone SE, because crew members ask me all the time for them. Here's the problem. If you go to a store and you buy them in a store, they're going to charge you $50 for a glass screen protector. Why? Because they can.
Amazon.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. You can go on Amazon and you can buy, I bought a 5-pack of these for $10.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Here's the secret, though, that no one's going to tell you. How do you properly put on a glass screen protector with no bubbles? This is what you're paying $50 for. There's no reason to pay $50 to Best Buy to do it. I'm going to give you the secret to putting them on. You hate them because you never put them on the right way, and you always get the bubbles because you don't know the secret to it. Here's the secret to it. Take your phone, go in the bathroom, turn on the hot water in the bathroom in the shower for 2-3 minutes. It's going to fog up the bathroom. Since it fogs up the bathroom, all the dust is going to fall to the floor because it's all gotten the moisture, and then you can lay on the screen protector with no bubbles.
Oh.
That's exactly how I do it. You want to try and have a glass screen protector. I have a whole bunch of shattered screen protectors. I didn't actually shatter this one, I don't think. I did something, I put this on the wrong way, and then I got out of bed and I stepped on it, and you'll see that's the shatter. If you have a glass screen protector, though, and it is broken, do any of you have one that is broken, that has a chip, that has a crack, that has anything in it, a chip, a nick, something on the side? Nope. The second you break a glass screen protector, you must replace it. Because once you see this is broken, how much structural integrity is left in that glass?
None.
Nothing. So if you have a broken screen protector sitting on top of your glass and you drop your phone again, what's going to happen to your phone for real?
Break.
It's going to break. When I told you when I fell down the stairs in the helipad, that's a true story. I had a broken screen protector on my phone, and it actually cracked the actual glass, and it is a tempered glass. So if you notice, there's a piece of plastic behind the glass. It's not going to cut me. It's not going to do anything like that. But this is the structural integrity of the device. Let me borrow back my phone there. Perfect. So what I have on here, the answer to your question is I have the Mophie with the glass screen protector, and it does a great job doing full all-around protection and battery life. Now, the next thing, when to charge. How many of you have an opinion on that? Because everybody seems to have an opinion on that. I'm going to tell you the truth. What's your opinion? What's your thoughts on when to charge?
The bottom half goes much quicker than the top half, so I would say when it gets to 50%.
Okay, so he says when it gets to 50%.
20%.
20%.
I charge whenever I'm near a charger.
I let mine get really low.
You let yours get really low.
Because this thing goes fast.
Yeah, he charges whenever he's near a charger. Anybody else have another answer?
I just plug it in every night so that it's full.
Your answer is closest to the pin. Whenever you're near the charger is probably the closest and best answer you're going to get. I hyperventilate when my phone gets below 75%. Okay, if my phone is below 75%, I start hyperventilating and I just freak out. My phone actually got down last cruise, it got down to 10%, and that is the lowest my phone has been in, that's the lowest my phones have been in 6 years on the ship.
That's why you
Because here's the honest answer, I generally only have one in my pocket, that's my main phone. This other one, what this one is normally used for, like today when I was teaching the class in Celebrity Central, you notice I was using my iPhone and I was using my iPad, so this phone was running the camera. So one of my devices is always used to run the camera, one of my devices is used to, I know where you're coming from,
So
but I want to give you the
Does your
answer.
standard phone have that Mophie juice pack on it?
My standard phone, this
So
is my
that's the
main
one
phone.
with
It
the
has my
glass
multi juice
thing.
pack.
Good.
This is the one with my glass. This is my A phone. This is my B phone. This is not an iPhone. This is an Android phone. It's called the Google Pixel. We'll talk about it a bit later. But what's cool is, so we want it, when do you charge? The answer is whenever you have an outlet. There is no memory effect on batteries on the iPhone. What that means is, it is the same damage to go from 0 to 100 one time to the battery as it is to go from 80 to 100 5 times. Does that make sense there? So it's the same damage. Your phone has 500 charges on it, or your iPad, or whatever it is, any type of newer tech, has 500 charges on it going from 0 to 100 until it lasts for half of its design capacity. So does that make sense? So if your phone originally lasts 10 hours, and you charge it up and down 500 times, then the battery will theoretically last 5 hours from that point. But there is no damage. Going 20% 5 times is the same as going 100% one time. So the right answer is anytime you're anywhere near a plug outlet, plug it in. That's why what's interesting, these battery cases, what they do is they deplete the battery in the case first, then deplete the battery in the phone.
Automatically?
Yes, automatically.
See, mine, I have to.
Yours is something that I had. I'm going to tell you a true story. He has a
Yeah.
battery case that's from the random third-party world of Amazon. And I had a random third-party world of Amazon one for my iPhone 7 before this came out for my iPhone 7. And the lightning port broke off inside my phone. And I didn't have any tweezers small enough to get in there, so I took 2 pins out of a new dress shirt and I fished in. Mophie is, after my disaster that I had, it took me 3 days to get the lightning connector out of my iPhone 7 because it broke off inside, and it was just a random Amazon purchase. So battery cases are one thing I wouldn't mess with and buy on Amazon anymore, personally. I would just go with a Mophie.
I can tell you though, Richard, I did read that if you let it go down below 20%, it will decrease it worse.
So here's the answer.
Before
If you,
charge it.
not only if you let it go down 20%, you never want to leave a battery dead. I think that's the thing. Now, your logic is correct. It takes the same amount of time to go from 0 to about 75% as it does to go from about 75% to 100%. Now, some companies made a fast charger so they could take their battery and they could bring it up to about 95% at a very fast speed, and that last 5% they slow down. That was called the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. That's what happened. They charged the battery too fast. And it exploded. And if you know the history of what happened with that phone, how they stopped the batteries from exploding is they limited the phone to only getting charged to 50%.
Oh.
So the answer is you can charge it whenever you want, as much as you want, and you just, like, if you leave the house and you're down 5% and you get in the car,
Plug it in.
jack it in.
It's
If
always
you go to
in
the
there.
car, you get to the office, jack it in.
It's
Just
always
jack
in
it in whenever you want to do it. It's okay. You don't need to worry about that. Here's another question, though. When to charge? I brought something with me in my bag that I found in my cabin last night. I need to find it. Yeah, I don't think I have enough wires. It's spaghetti. It's spaghetti. But the next question is what to charge with. So here's the question. What do you charge with?
Only the Apple cable.
No, that's not true.
No?
That's not true. No, I
Well,
left
you have that wireless thing.
the wireless thing. I left this one Apple cable down there. But the answer is what to charge with is, I'm not talking about the cable specifically. The cable, you're not going to run into problems. If you plug in a cable that's not an Apple cable, it's just not going to charge and it's going to say, this accessory is not supported. My favorite cables you can buy are actually Amazon. Makes their own lightning cables that are about $3 each. They're called Amazon Basics. They're amazing. And that's what I use. But I have so many cables. Like when I'm out and about and I need a cable, I don't usually carry a cable when I'm going around the ship. I actually keep cables on my key ring.
Oh my God.
So that's a micro USB cable, and that's a lightning cable. These are from a company called InCharge, and they just kind of sit on my key ring.
Only you, Richard.
Only me, I agree. Hey, look, if I'm at the bar and a lady's having problems with her iPhone and she's cute, I need to be able to fix that. I need to be able to fix that right away.
Yeah.
I did not bring my wallet. My wallet actually has a phone charger inside of it. Okay, I showed you the wallet. I showed you the wallet with the phone charger. Just to give you a little logic there. So,
In charge?
InCharge. These are these little short cables. So what to charge with? The cable is not the important variable. Here's the important variable. When you charge the device, you want to make sure you are charging with a brick that is from a company you recognize. Can you charge an iPhone with a JBL speaker charger? Of course you can. Can you charge an iPhone with a Hengen China 5-watt special charger?
No.
You probably shouldn't. one of the things that I can guarantee you, you're all going to go home, and on the 22nd, I am a predictor of the future. I'm going to tell you something that's going to happen that's going to be amazing. I guarantee you, front page of CNN, if you wake up on the morning of April 22nd, I can already tell you what the headline is going to be. Samsung Galaxy S8 erupts in flames. No question, that is on the front page of CNN the first day. It's not because the phone's going to explode. I want you to understand, every single year, when a new iPhone comes out, on the first day the phone comes out, one of them explodes. Because someone plugs it into a charger that's not an official charger, that jacks it up to a higher percentage than it's actually able to do. The thing is, that wouldn't be a news story on an iPhone, but there's already enough ammunition behind the Samsung phones exploding that what do you think is going to happen when the first Samsung phone lights on fire? It's going to be front page CNN, front page Fox News, front page everyone. I can guarantee you. So if you want a good stock short, the morning of the 22nd, the day before, just put a short on Samsung.
Is that the day they're introduced?
They're introducing it on the 21st. My assumption is by the 22nd there will be one that explodes because people don't use the right charger. Now the thing is, you can charge an iPhone with an iPad charger. You can charge an iPad with an iPhone charger, but it'll take forever. The cable I was looking for, which I left downstairs, is I can actually charge, if I wanted to, my iPad with my MacBook Pro charger.
Really?
So I have this big, heavy MacBook Pro charger. I'm going to do something that would seem incredibly stupid that I'm going to do. This thing is pushing out 85 watts. It's a gigantic charger. It can push out so much, and I'm going to do something really dumb that you're about to see, that if I didn't know what I was doing, this would be dumb. I'm going to plug this 85-watt charger into this tiny little cell phone. It's fine. No problem. It's charging rapidly. Who would have guessed? But the cool thing is, this is called USB-C, and this is the future of a lot of the chargers, and you'd be able to use any charger to charge anything. So the right answer is, if you look at the charger, and it's got a manufacturer that you know on it, go ahead and charge. Does that make sense to everybody? Go ahead and charge. You got a manufacturer that you recognize, that you've heard of the name before, you go ahead and you charge. Yeah, Melissa.
Is there an adapter for the previous generation before the USB-C? So in other words, the charger for this?
No, there's not an adapter. That's a different charger. So these are, so you ask a good question. That going in is AC. This is all DC. You don't have to invert or do anything like that.
Okay.
So they make a cable. What do you need? You need a charger?
No, a converter to change that to, this is the old, the 2007
Yeah.
converter.
Yeah?
So that won't plug into my iPad.
No, that won't plug into your iPad. We're just talking about the newer ones that have USB-C on them.
Yeah,
So
Is there a converter?
there is no converter, no. I have a USB-C to Lightning. So I have from this cable to Lightning, but I'm having it charge my iPad downstairs. The big iPad Pro, the 12-inch iPad Pro, you can actually charge in about an hour and a half using a MacBook charger, to give you an idea. Yeah?
My big MacBook Pro I have at home that just sits on the desk,
Uh-huh.
it's hooked up to my,
Yes,
I leave that plugged in always. Is
That's
that
fine.
Okay?
that's fine.
Okay, I wonder
Your
if
big
it's
MacBook Pro, the big MacBook Pro or
Yeah.
desktop? Laptop? It's a laptop.
It's a laptop.
It's a laptop. Good question. I'm going to tell you something about batteries. It kind of puts into our discussion. You see where that gentleman is sitting right there? Do you see what's directly above where he's sitting right there? That fire sprinkler? Directly above. We used to have laptops in this room, and we kept the laptops plugged in for 3 years without unplugging them. What do you think happened to the battery inside one of the laptops? It overheated and started smoking and set off the thing. So you can leave your device plugged in all the time, but you need to unplug it once a month or so and just let it die down a little bit, if that makes sense. So you just unplug it once a month or so.
It's okay, well,
You're okay.
I have it in there.
If it's not okay, the insurance company will buy you a new one.
My MacBook Pro is the old one. It's like
Yeah, it's okay.
19
So
No,
Richard,
it
I
doesn't
have
have it.
all
Yeah.
kinds of cables and all kinds of
Yep.
adapters that go on the wall, and I have no idea where they came from.
Again,
Got so
look at the
many.
name of the
How do I
company.
tell?
Look at the name of the company on it. It will have a name. If it's made by JBL, if it's made by Sony, if it's made by someone that's reputable,
All right.
go ahead and stick it in. If it's not made by a reputable company, people are going to say it's got to say made for iPhone, made for iPad. Doesn't need to. As long as it's made by a reputable company, you're not going to blow your device up. Cool? Now,
The 10-foot lightning cable.
Yeah, I have
do
2 or
they
3 of them.
Actually
they carry the current.
charge
They're good.
faster?
No, they don't charge faster.
Okay.
They charge a little slower because you have to carry the current over a longer period of time. So,
Oh, they don't stink.
I want to talk about, so we got what to charge with. Charge with anything that has a brand you understand. Now, the next thing I want to show you is Anchor battery packs. I know I showed you these the other day, but I brought one. I have to remember where I put everything here. Where is this? So this guy right here is a battery pack. Believe it or not. This is an Anchor battery pack. Your phone, as I said the other day, has about 2,000 milliamp hours inside of it. This has 20,000 milliamp hours inside of it. And here's the coolest thing about this battery pack. Now I can charge this battery pack from the same plug I charge my MacBook Pro with. So you can see the battery pack's actually charging from my MacBook Pro power adapter. And here's where this gets really cool. I can actually charge my MacBook Pro from a battery pack, which is something that's been impossible to do with laptops forever. I can actually run my MacBook Pro off of a battery pack, which is like that's pretty cool. So you see, my Mac's now charging off of a battery pack. So I can go in, and this also has normal USBs out as well. This is from a company called Anchor. They sell exclusively on Amazon, but it's about $35 or $40 for a 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack, which will charge multiple phones multiple times over and over and over and over again. And what I always pair this with, I don't know if I showed you guys this already, my Nomad cables. I think I showed you my Nomad cable already.
Yeah.
This is what's really cool. This is a micro USB cable. I go up. I'm going to make that stop making noise in a second. This is a lightning cable that goes in there. And then this is a USB-C cable. So all of the cables are in one.
And what is that called?
This is from a company called Nomad, N-O-M-A-D. I have my one Windows computer that's sitting around in the corner here just making noise. So you know what we do with it?
Throw it out the window.
Shut it off.
We shut it off. We figure out how to do that.
No windows in here.
Control off the lead.
Yes.
So it has three types of pins
There's
on
three
it.
types of pins on here. I'm going to pass this around so you can definitely take a look at it. And you'll see the three different types of pins. This is the only cable I have now. I have like 20 of these. And I love it because it's one
Amazon?
cable. Actually, it's cheaper to just buy them right from this company themselves.
From
The
Nomad?
website is hellonomad.com. Go ahead and you can. But here's the great thing. It's like I said, tomorrow I'm going to give you my email address. If you forget anything there. Go ahead for your question.
Well, that brings up the question of switching over from Windows to Mac.
Oh, that's a question for another time. I'll be happy to answer that question tomorrow morning.
Okay,
But that's a very loaded question for today. So,
Hello, Nomad, did you say?
Hello Nomad is their website.
N-O-M-A-D.
N-O-M-A-D, like the traveling nomad. Yep.
Now, my iPad has an old, those.
The old connector.
Those magnetic ones.
Yep.
So,
Magnetic. You mean the big one? I mean the magnetic one. So here's another concept. This is the one for the older iPad that I have. That's got the older iPad. That's got a micro USB.
Oh.
That's got a
from
mini
Nomad?
USB. No, this has never been produced actually. This is
Oh.
this is a prototype. I can't tell you where to get it because you could
Okay.
never really get it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on our actual devices. So for the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to be on our actual iPhones and iPads and things like that. I'm going to throw this back to the gentleman in the back corner. I don't think it has any passwords on it, so it should be good to go. Let me get up what we're going to be doing now. And what we're going to be talking about is we're going to start by talking about battery as well. Does everything that we talked about so far make sense to everyone? Any questions on the first few things, or it makes pretty good sense? Okay. So let me get this up on the screen. This is my tech being stupid with me. Yep, so we're going to be in settings. So you're going to go ahead and you can quicken yourself by hitting the settings. I'm going to...
Can it be on airplane mode?
It can be on airplane mode. There's no reason it can't be on airplane mode.
I'm still in iLounge, so it's still.
Yep, you're still on iLounge. That's okay. I'm going to get this going up on the screen.
When I go to airplane mode, it turns it off.
Go ahead and click back. Once you go in airplane mode, click back on Wi-Fi.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can turn Wi-Fi back on even though you're back on airplane mode.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get this working. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. All right. Yep. 3, 2, 1. This is what happens when you create your own tech. Is it acts up? There we go. Okay. So I think I started the recording. Yes, I started the recording. Okay. So we're going to start. I started the recording, but guess what I didn't do? I didn't put it on the TV screen. I put it on my screen for myself to see. But that will do us a lot of good. Okay. Sorry, guys. Give my computer just a second.
Anybody wanna see this over here?
Oh, you can pass those around.
It's been around?
No,
This
I don't
Nomad
think these are
cable's been
bad.
around?
Nomad cable's been around.
That's been over here.
I have like 6 of them, so it's okay.
That's the only kind you use now.
That's all I use. Like, that is literally, whenever I go out, whenever I go anywhere, I use that cable, and that is what I use. Okay, so now we're going to go in on the phones. This is preferably on the iPhone. This is where we're going to be right now. And we're going to go into settings. And we're going to be like, hey, Richie's computer, do you want to play with me? I build all of my own software to do this, so that's why it doesn't work. Some of this tech I'm doing, I've custom built over the years. Okay. I think we're good to go. That's on the screen. This is on the screen in 3, 2. 3, 2. 3, 2. Come on. Okay, so we're gonna go, I'm gonna talk you through it. I'll get it up on the screen. So we're gonna go to settings, and we're gonna go to battery. You're gonna scroll down to where it says battery, and I'll be up on the screen in just a few seconds time from you.
General?
Nope, not in general. Just scroll down in settings and you will see battery. So I want you to click on battery. On the top of the battery, you should see something that says low power mode. Do you see that?
Yes.
Go ahead and switch it on. I'm going to instruct you on what that does in just a few seconds time.
Settings.
Settings, there we go. Settings. We're going to go to battery. And you see where it says low power mode. When your device gets to 20% battery, it's going to automatically switch to low power mode. You've probably seen this before. I don't generally deal with it because if my battery gets under 75%, I freak out, as I said. But go ahead and turn on low power mode. You can toggle it on real quick. Look what happens to your battery up on the top. What color does it turn?
Yellow.
Yellow.
It turns yellow. If you ever see your battery turn yellow, that means your device is on low power mode. Now, what does low power mode actually do?
Reduces your brightness.
Well, it's written right here. Low power mode temporarily reduces power consumption until you can fully charge your phone. When this is on, mail fetch, hey SIRI, I'm not going to say it, hey SIRI, background app refresh, automatic downloads, and some visual effects are reduced or turned off. Well, technically, I should be able to say, let's make sure everybody's got low power mode on. Hey Siri! Good, okay. That's how we know everybody has low power mode turned on because it didn't bing on or do anything like that. But I can go in and I can have it show all of that. Now, I'm going to give you an idea of what a lot of this does. Background app refresh means apps won't refresh in the background. Mail fetch means that it won't go out and pull your mail. It means a bunch of different things there that you can see. And some visual effects are reduced. What it essentially does is it makes your iPhone run like the previous year's iPhone to save battery. Because every year they don't put bigger batteries in the phones and things like that. One of the things they did with this iPhone, the iPhone 7 Plus, is every year they've been putting smaller batteries in the phone because they made them more power efficient. The iPhone 7 Plus is the first year they put more battery in a phone than the iPhone 6S Plus. It actually has more battery in the iPhone 7 Plus. I mean, fractional, but it's still more battery, just to give you a concept. I want you to scroll down a little bit, though, and you should see battery usage. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's going to actually show you your usage in the last 24 hours and the last 7 hours. Now you will notice my number one thing in the last 24 hours is camera. Why is that? Well, when I was doing the when I was doing the smartwatch class the other night, I had my camera on and it was pointing at the watch the entire time and it was broadcasting out the screen. So the camera app was using more battery than anything else. That was my number one. So you can see the last 24 hours or the last 7 days. If you click over the last 7 days,
Yeah, mine says 5, but I guess it's just because it's.
it just depends how long you've had it. Last 5 days, last 4 days, last 7 days. You can click in and you can see all the usage there.
Why don't I have that?
Mine is mail. 35% mail.
It's going to be available after a few minutes of usage. You haven't killed down your battery enough to show you what's going on. So you're in a good... Now, here's the cool thing. So yours number one's mail, but most of your number one is be photos, so be camera, right?
Right.
It's number one. Do you see the little clock up there in the upper right-hand corner? Go ahead and click that little clock. And you're going to see how much it was used on screen and how much it was used in the background. So you can see all of these things. The number one usage thing over the last week for most people, if you use it, is probably Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook uses a lot of battery.
Nice messenger.
Not me.
Messenger, yeah. If you're in Messenger a lot, then Messenger will use a lot of battery too.
I have mail, still mail.
Take that one. So we've got your husband's not. Is your husband coming back or? Oh, he's coming. Okay, I didn't know if he's coming back up. Okay, so well, my phone is. So that's actually going to show you what's been using all of your battery life about what's going on there. Now, how many of you get? Do any of you see something that says no cell service showing up there? No service, no cell service.
No cell coverage.
No cell coverage. You see that there? If you don't see it, it's probably because you've been in airplane mode, and that's good.
Yeah.
When your device does not have signal, it freaks out. When you don't have at least a couple bars of battery, your device freaks out. So if you don't have at least 3 bars of signal, it goes crazy. It jacks the antenna power up, and that's what kills your battery more than anything else. So when your phone says no service, it is eating battery like nobody's business. You're better off just putting it in airplane mode rather than leaving it in no service. Now I'm going to take off low power mode on mine. You should probably take it off on yours because it keeps turning my screen off. That's why I've taken off low power mode on mine, because it keeps turning my screen off. Now, does that make sense, the low power mode there?
Yeah.
You should not be living on low power mode. You should only use low power mode if you absolutely need to use low power mode. The next thing I want to do is I want you to see something a little bit above low power mode called display and brightness. You might have to, if you're holding it in this way, you might have to click back to where it says settings, and you're going to go to display and brightness. Now, how many of you have played with the brightness on your device before? Okay. Auto brightness is the best way to do it, and I'm going to show you how auto brightness actually works because I can trick it and I can show you visually exactly how it works. So you see that we have the little slider, and we can go up and we can go down. You'll see that it's down all the way. I've turned the brightness down all the way. Watch what happens when I put it next to a light source or take it out to the sun.
Oh.
It automatically goes up. Here's the thing to know though. You can only turn your brightness up to 10. What I mean by is all the way up to the top. But if you're out in the bright sun, it will actually go brighter than you can physically turn the screen. Bet you didn't know that. There's actually brighter than you can physically turn the screen.
When it's on auto.
When it's on auto. So the right answer is to leave it on auto because it will go brighter than it can really go. Now if you look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do something very strange. You have to pay attention to my phone to see this. Is they actually added a front flash to the iPhone. And you see the flash is on, and watch the screen. I'm going to go low so you can see the screen. Just watch that screen. Can everybody see the screen? You have to look at that little screen. You don't have to see the details on it. I just want you to see the actual screen. Did you see that it got really bright for a fractional second there?
Right.
That actually lit up 2 times brighter than the screen can normally go to be used as a flash. That's the front-facing flash, which is what's really cool. So you get the front-facing flash, and it lights up about 2 times brighter than it would normally be brightened up to do that. So you want to leave it on auto brightness. But here's the one I want to really care about. Do you see where it says auto lock?
Mm-hmm.
What is it set at?
1 minute.
1 minute?
Mine's
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
5.
If it's your own device and it's set at 5 minutes, you should probably turn it down a bit. You should probably make it 2 minutes or so. You'll get better battery life. What auto lock means is if I were to take this phone and I were going to sit it right there, after 5 minutes the screen would go off. If you keep it to 1 minute, you're conserving your battery life a lot.
Annoying.
One of the most useful things in battery life for the phone is called SOT. Now, one of the things that's interesting, someone said, you know, are there YouTube videos on this stuff and all these different things? So a lot of this stuff's made for nerds. When they relate to phones' battery life, they talk about SOT. Any guess what SOT stands for?
Stands on operating.
Screen on time. That's what SOT means. So what you need to do is, as much as possible, you want to decrease your SOT. So you should have your auto lock set at no more than 2 minutes. Now my auto lock is set for never. Why it's set to never is because when I'm doing a class, I don't want the phone going off on me. What was annoying is when I put it in low power mode a couple minutes ago, low power mode automatically sets your auto lock to 30 seconds. So I had to keep going back and turning my phone back on in order to do that because my phone kept going off while I was talking. Do some of you see under auto lock something that says raise to wake?
Yes.
Go ahead. Is that switched on?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't see it, it's because you have an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 6 Plus.
No, I got a 6.
You have an iPhone 6. No, you have a 6S if you see it.
Oh, 6S.
You have a 6S.
Right, I'm sorry.
So here's the thing. The iPhone 6S and the iPhone 7 have something called raise to wake, which means if the phone's sitting on the table and you raise it, it's going to show you any of the notifications that are on there, and then you put it back down.
Right. What?
That's neat.
And now which ones have that?
The 6S and the 7.
But ours are 6 pluses.
Yours is a 6 Plus, not a 6S Plus.
Yeah.
As long as it's turned on, when you raise the phone, it'll wake the display. I think it's kind of cool.
Does the 7 have that?
The 7 has it as well. Yeah, anything after the 6S, 5 doesn't have it. No.
Do you leave your brightness about halfway?
I leave it on auto brightness. I let auto brightness take care of it. I like a bright screen. I really love a bright screen between me and you. I usually jack up my brightness higher than auto brightness does it. My brightness across my Macs and my iPhones and my iPads generally stays at about 75%. Just to give you a little idea.
But you have it on auto, how can you, oh, you move
Because I
it?
jack it up a little bit.
Oh.
I jack it up a little bit.
You can do that, you can.
Yeah, you can jack it.
Oh,
You can
okay,
jack it. You can
okay.
jack it. It'll learn. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, this is good. Sleep versus shut down. Do any of you ever shut your device down?
No.
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
When it does something bad and I'm trying to reset.
When it does something bad, you're trying to reset.
While I'm
Yeah,
on a plane, I shut it
Yeah,
down.
reset.
So here's the funny thing. Sometimes Apple sends an update to people's iPhones just so they reboot.
Really?
That's the truth. When you see like 9.3.1, you're like, oh, okay, that's just a reboot update. When it's 9 point something or 10 point something, because 10.3 came out a few weeks ago, and then 10.3.1 came out. It's because they needed to force a reboot on all the devices,
And why
so
is
they
that?
so they issued it because there was
Oh.
something that needed a restart in there. You should never really restart your phone. The only time you should really restart your phone is when it dies or when Apple pushes a software update. Here's the thing: it takes significantly more battery to power off the entire phone and power it back on than it does to just leave it asleep for a few hours.
What if it's plugged in? I always want to keep it plugged in. That's it.
So if it's plugged in, you're fine. There's no reason to turn it off or anything like that. So what I talk about is sleep versus shut down. When you press the button on the side, you're going to sleep. When you hold the button on the side and then you slide, don't do this. I'm just going to show you. This is a shut down. That's the difference between sleep and shut down. You don't want to shut it down that often because it takes a long time to come up. These devices are meant to stay in a suspended state. It's okay. But here's the debate I always get into with people for many, oh wait, how often to reboot? I think we talked about that. Just when the software updates come around, it's going to go ahead and reboot. This is what I get in debates with people all the time. And there was just someone this morning who was doing this, and I'm like, you don't need to do this. Now, people have probably been telling you to do what I'm about to show you for years. I'm going to spend a couple minutes on this to explain to you why there is no need to do this. How many of you have ever done swipe, swipe, oh look, I'm cleaning up my phone, it's working faster.
What?
Yeah, I do that.
Just to get
I
rid of
do it,
apps.
Yeah,
I try to get the apps to be closed.
So here's the thing. I have an allergy on the ship.
I was told to do that.
No, I know. There's an allergy I have on the ship. I'm allergic to this thing called bullshit. Oh, sorry. I'm not familiar with that, but I'm allergic to it. There is no reason to close your apps. You're not saving battery life. You're not saving anything. And here's the thing. I've had assistants before that told people to close apps, and that's why I now hire my assistants from within. So they have all their learning from me. I develop apps, I make apps. When you close apps, you're making your life harder because it has to reopen the app again instead of staying open in the background. Now, what's interesting is this phone right here, this Samsung Galaxy S7, let me borrow your phone. This phone has 4 gigabytes of RAM inside of it. This is Samsung Galaxy S7, has 4 gigabytes of RAM. This phone, the iPhone 5S, has 1 gigabyte of RAM inside of it. Out of these two phones, which one is faster?
The iPhone.
The iPhone is faster.
That's just like you told us with the,
Yeah.
with the battery.
Specs don't always mean anything. So the interesting thing is, if you go ahead and you can look online, you can look on YouTube, there's Samsung Galaxy S8's already out already. The iPhone 7 Plus still destroys in speed tests the new Samsung Galaxy S8 because iOS can properly background apps. It can properly leave them in a state that when you go back, it's back at the same place. It doesn't have to open the same app. You know, if you're playing Candy Crush and you go back in, you don't have to go watch the whole Candy Crush logo and hit play again. It just goes back to the same level. When you close those apps out, you're actually hurting yourself and you're burning more battery by closing the apps. The only reason you should ever close an app is if the app is being stupid. And if the app's doing something you don't want it to do, you just click it and you close it. It's very rare that I close an app. I don't do it. You can see, if I did it, there's no reason I would have all of these apps that are open. I mean, this is still things from my apps class. I've got things that were from my apps class, Photomath, RunP, Duolingo. I never clear it out. I never clear it out.
I was told.
But I was told, and who were, and she's got the allergy too. She's got the allergy too. Here's the thing. You were told by a retail employee,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah.
You're right.
Here's the thing. Those people don't know much. Okay, unfortunately, it's true. I will tell you, I started at the Apple Store at the age of 19. I went from floor associate to manager in 3 months. So I went through every position in the Apple Store in 3 months. They started me going through this computerized training. Unfortunately, what I'll show you that I think is very bad is that a lot of people that work in Best Buy, a lot of people that work in the Apple Store, we actually have an app. I don't know if I can actually show you this. Called Apple Seed, and this is where all the training is and all of that. And it's all trained in an app, and the answers are in an app and things like that. They don't have real life experience. I've been using iPhones and iPads since the day they came out, and I'm giving you my experience based on that, and that's the best I can do. There is no official stance on closing apps. Apple's official stance on closing apps is the only reason you should ever need to close apps is if an app acts up. But what if your phone is running slow, or your iPad is running slow? How do you do the equivalent of what you were trying to do by clearing the apps? This is something I can guarantee you no one's ever told you because I only learned this in June. I need everybody to be on their home screen. So on this screen, if you have a device, you've got your home screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to be in the phone, put your code in and everything like that. We're on this screen like this.
Right.
Hold down your power button till you get to the slide to power off screen. So till you get to here. Don't turn it off. Hold it down till you get to there. And here's what we're going to do. You have the power button on. Yeah, you're okay. And do you know the home button right on the front? I want you to hold that down. Press it once. Hold it down for about 8 seconds. Okay, Siri didn't like that. And it should just bounce back to the main screen like nothing happened.
Yes.
That actually cleared your RAM on your device.
Oh.
That cleared the RAM on the device. Now, did you get it cleared? Did it go or no?
Oh, I just, what did I do? So
What you likely did is you were doing it from the lock screen instead of from this screen. Yeah, you need to do it from this screen. Now you hold this down and it'll bounce back to the main screen. And now it's clear. So you've actually gone ahead and you've cleared the RAM in your device. It's, no, if you reboot, you don't actually clear the RAM, to be completely honest. It's actually better than rebooting. Yeah.
Does that same process work with the iPad?
The same process works with any device that runs iOS. So yes, an iPad as well. Now yep.
Mine didn't say
What are
anything.
we clearing the RAM?
What are we clearing the RAM? Yeah, we're clearing the RAM. That's the name of it. You're just clearing all the crap that's built up in the phone. That's all it's doing. All the stuff that's open in the background and actually causing issues is what we're clearing.
It's closing all the apps.
It's not closing all the apps. It's clearing the RAM. It preserves where the apps. It preserves the state the apps were in.
Okay.
I'm just looking for something so I can show you something, and you're gonna. Okay, cool. All right. So now we have to talk about the one thing that Apple does that's not very Apple-like. The idea behind Apple was a lot of the stuff that Apple makes just works. One of the things that's still a pain in the butt is Bluetooth. I'm sure we've all played with Bluetooth before. Apple never had a great solution for Bluetooth. Apple just created something for Bluetooth called the W1 chip. For you to appreciate the W1 chip, I first have to show you the old way that Bluetooth works. Now, why Bluetooth has gotten important, I can guarantee none of you are ever going to buy another iPhone that has a headphone jack on it. So Bluetooth is actually very important because there's no iPhones with headphone jacks. So the only way to plug in headphones is Bluetooth. Now this is a pair of very cool headphones. I can guarantee none of you have ever seen headphones like this before because this is how you wear them. They don't go on your ears. No. They're not only wireless, they're not headphones. These are bone conducting headphones.
Oh, that's like my daughter who's deaf. She has that.
Yes. These are
what
bone
are they
conducting
called?
headphones. But what I want to show you, I had to pull up something that didn't have the W1 chip. I'm going to show you how I pair this. So let me wait for it to go. Boing. Okay. So you see I've taken these bone conducting headphones and I put them in a pairing mode. Then I have to go over to my Bluetooth settings. Then I have to wait for them to show up. Hopefully they'll show up. Trex Titanium by Aftershocks. And if I click here, they'll eventually go ahead and they will connect. Now the thing is, that was not a very Apple-like way to connect something in my opinion, but these are still awesome headphones, just for fun. I'll play something for a second. Let me see what I have.
Trex Titanium?
Trex, you don't need to write this down. I'm just showing you a pair of headphones. These are cool. These are called the Trex Titanium. And I don't mind passing this around real quick, just so you can. So where you have to put them, I'll pass them around. You can hear them. They go right about here.
Cochlear implant. That's what she is. That's what I'm.
They go right about on your temple.
About how much are they?
And if you do it, they're about $200. But that's not the main reason I'm showing you these. I've just picked something that paired the old way with Bluetooth. What's cool, if you plug your ears, you can hear them better. Just go ahead and plug your ears. And it'll be like it's happening inside of your head.
Really? Oh, I gotta see.
Yeah. They're about, they've gone down, they've come down. They're about $200 for the normal retail price. I'll bring them up with me again tomorrow. I'll leave them up here because not everybody's going to get to hear them right now. Because that was not the purpose of why I brought that. I brought something way too cool. I'm sorry. But
It's too late now.
no, it's too late. I've lost you.
Is it hi-fi?
It is pretty hi-fi, yeah. And the other thing is, these are the only pair of headphones, technically, that crew members are allowed to wear on board. Because we have to be able to hear the emergency signal if the emergency signal goes off. So we're actually not allowed to wear, if we're walking down and we get caught by the safety officer, he screams at us if we're wearing 2 pairs of earbuds, because we're supposed to have one ear always exposed so we can hear.
But you can't hear them anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I can hear it from there, yeah.
Who has the best
Yeah,
price?
you're right. But here's
Who
the
has
thing I want to
the
show
best
you.
price?
So that's gonna stop in a few seconds because I want to show you the W1 chip. Now I have 4 pairs of headphones right here that use the W1 chip. And the W1 chip is probably very different than anything you've ever used before. I have the AirPods, the Beats X, the Power Beats 3 wireless, and the Beats Solo. And what's so cool, I never lose these because I hang them from a hook on my ceiling. So I have a magnetic hook on the ceiling. But I want to show you all of these because these are very cool because they use the W1 chip. And that's about to die. So I'm going to take those back. You can try them. Yeah, I'm going to take those back. I'll bring them with me tomorrow. I'll leave them in my bag. No, but I need to shut them off now.
Yeah,
So
okay.
because I need to show something else. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in my bag, and if you come by tomorrow morning, you can say, hey, Rich, show me those really cool headphones you were showing everyone yesterday that you decided to bring just as a gadget, but you should have not brought them. Okay, so here's what's cool. You saw that setting where I had to go into Bluetooth, and I had to pair it, and I had to do everything. What if Apple made Bluetooth more Apple-like? These are some of the hardest pieces of tech to get your hands on. I actually got my hand. You know what these are?
No.
AirPods.
AirPods.
These are AirPods. They still have like a 4-month waiting list if you want to get them. They're quite cool. But here's the coolest thing. Instead of going into settings, instead of going into Bluetooth, instead of doing all that, to take a pair of AirPods and make it work with, and make it work with my iPhone. I'm going to show you how it works. Let me get it up on the screen.
AirPods work with 6.
AirPods will work with any device that has the lightning connector. So it will work with the 6, no problem.
Like,
The small connector.
oh, the small connector.
Any device that has a small connector, AirPods will work with. Okay. So let me show you how this works. So instead of going to settings, instead of going to all those places like that, all I have to do, take it and put it right next to my device. And in a couple seconds, it should just pop up and say, hey, there's some AirPods. Boom.
Nice.
Wow. That's wow.
And then you'll see I get the individual battery life for each pod. I go in there. I go in there. I look like an idiot. But
Are they better than these Fireflies? These work pretty good.
are they wireless?
Yeah. Bluetooth wireless.
So they're similar to the Fireflies. I've heard of the Fireflies. I've never used the Firefly, so I'd have to play with it, and I'll
They
let
work
you know.
pretty good.
They fall out of your ear.
Will they fall out of your ear? I went a little harsh there. No, I didn't have it in all the way. Here we go.
So do you have to carry that with you? Do you have to carry that little thing then with you?
This little thing is where you store them. So
Oh,
you store them
but
in this
once
little
you
thing.
paired them,
Once you pair them, so the earphones themselves have 5 hours of battery life on it,
okay.
and the case will recharge the earphones 5 times, and the case charges via
So
lightning
the only
cable.
reason you opened it was to
To
get
pair
the
it.
signal out?
Was to get the
Yeah.
signal out.
Okay.
It gets and you can pair them with Android devices as well, but this is just.
What is that thing called again?
These are called AirPods.
Did you open the case and you paired?
Yes, when I went like that, I opened the case and it automatically pairs up. There we go. Now it's working nearly instantly.
So that's what Apple sells now on all their devices where
So-
they're having the audio cable.
So-
Starting with, 7?
You can use this on any devices. It's called W1. It's a different type of Bluetooth. Thing is, there are 4 different pairs of headphones that have the W1 chip inside of them. I want to show you the additional 3 so you can see now. Now another one, these are kind of more for
Oh,
sports.
those other ones, the big ones and the...
Yeah, I'm going to show you all of them. I'll explain all of them. The other ones, these are kind of for sports. These are called the Power Beats Wireless. I want to be very clear. These are not the ones we sell on board. We're getting these on next cruise. We don't have them right now, and you see I have Power Beats, and I can connect. I didn't have to go into Bluetooth settings. I didn't have to go anywhere. Here's the cool thing. Once I pair it with one device, it's paired on my Apple account. Once it's paired on my Apple account, it'll work across my iPhone, my iPad, my Mac, everything like that. So whatever device I'm closest to when I turn it on, it will automatically connect to. So these are called the Power Beats. These are my favorite. I thought I lost these the other day, but I was just misplacing them because I was drinking. These are called the Beats X. This is probably my favorite of them. They're all, the thing that's universal is you can just type in Apple W1 chip. That's what's universally, it's right on the sheet. It says W1 chip. These are cool because they just go around, they go like this, and when you're not using them, they just snap together. My mom and my sister have a pair of these. The other nice thing about these, and only these, the Beats X come with a free $30 iTunes gift card now, if you buy it. It's supposed to be used for free Apple Music, but that's not what I used it for. What I did is I bought 4 pairs of these. I bought 4 pairs of these for my mom and for my 2 sisters, and I took all the iTunes cards out, and then I subscribed to Netflix for the next 2 years with Apple paying for it through the...
Smart.
Think about that. But I can go in, and it's really cool. And the last one, these all have the same chip on them. I'll give you the price models on them in a second. They all have the same chip. So again, if I hold down the button, I turn them on. I'll give you the names of all of them in a second. But I go in, and see, Beats Solo 3. So these are the Beats Solo 3. These are, what's cool about these is these get 40 hours of battery life. I've had these for about 6 months, and I've charged them twice. Just to give you an idea.
Are these the Dr. Dre thing?
Yes, so Beats is now owned by Apple. What I think is very interesting was when Apple bought Beats, the day it was announced, we were in Belize. You ever been to Belize before?
Yes.
And Beats, they paid $3 billion for Beats. That's the entire GDP of Belize. I just found that out. I was like, oh, what's this worth? But I can go in and I've got. So these are kind of expensive. These are $300.
Are they noise canceling?
No, they are not.
They are.
They're not.
Okay.
These are $150, but they come with a free $30 iTunes gift card that you can use for anything. These are $199 for these. I'm giving you manufacturer's prices. You can find them cheaper than that. These are $199 manufacturer's price, and these are good luck getting one, but $159 to give you an idea on
You can
those.
get all those on Amazon except that? Or-
You can get everything else you can buy in Costco for a really good price, actually. Costco sells the $199 ones. They sell for $150. These they sell for like $200 instead of $300. So Costco sells them
But I
pretty
can't
good.
use those on the iPhone 5 yet, right?
You can use them on any of
Well,
them.
that's fine, Bluetooth. Just
As long as
doesn't
it's
matter.
Bluetooth, but that magical feature thing only works with the iPhones and iPads that have the small connector. So it wouldn't work on your iPad 3.
Right. But
It wouldn't work on your
yes,
iPad
it's
3,
just
but it'll work on that. It'll work on the iPhone 5. Yeah. All right.
I don't use that.
So we have one more set of things to talk about today, and then we're going to be good for today, and we're going to pick it up again tomorrow. We're going to go into settings, general, and about. For the Canadians, it's a boot. Oh yes. Settings, general, and about, and we're going to talk about the last segment of stuff we are going to talk about today, because this is where we normally get to on here. Okay, so settings, general, and about. And on the top, you should see the name of your device. Do we see that there?
iPhone.
Okay. Who says just iPhone?
I said Donna's.
Donna's iPhone, that's what I want.
That says John O's iPhone.
John O's iPhone. Yours just says, that's good. You want your name's iPhone.
How do you do that?
If you click on it, click on the name,
Okay.
you can rename it. Yes, an iPad can be your name's iPad. You don't have to call it iPhone, yeah. Your name's iPhone. Now, you notice what the name of mine is?
iLounge Manager.
iLearn Manager, iPod Touch.
You got multiple.
Didn't say iPhone.
So here's the funny thing. I don't know why I say this on video every cruise, but I guess I just have a death wish. All of the officers on board, all the senior officers, I don't wear it, but I have 3 stripes. All the senior officers on board are issued iPod Touches to carry around, so we can get our work email and different stuff like that. Do you think we all just take our iPhones and rename it iPod Touch and carry it around? Hotel director iPod Touch, F&B manager iPod Touch, HR manager iPod Touch. We all have our iPod Touches and our company issued Apple Watches. You'll see all the senior officers are all wearing, we all have iPhones and iPod Touches. We're an incredibly Apple ship. If you come on and you're like the hotel director and you have a Samsung phone, no one will even talk to you. And so, you need to have an iPhone or an iPhone. But I've got a name right there, and you can name it whatever you'd like, but you want to make it something unique. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about AirDrop, and that's where the name becomes very useful, is when you're talking about AirDrop.
Why do you say iPod Touch? Isn't this an iPhone?
It's the whole discussion we just
Oh,
went
I missed it.
Okay.
Must have went over my head.
I'm issued an iPod Touch. I don't want to carry around an iPod Touch and an iPhone, so I move all the settings from my iPod Touch to my iPhone. I call it an iPod Touch and I carry it around with me. Cool?
Gotcha, gotcha.
We get the daily program and all that stuff
All
on our iPod Touch.
It went right over my head.
Okay, that's fine. But then you'll see some information, the number of songs, the number of videos, the number of photos. Does anybody have more than 6,372 photos on their device? What you got?
Mine says loading.
8,245.
8,245. Yours
I
still
had
says loading.
14,000.
Okay, so you probably have a lot. If it's still thinking, it's still loading. So it'll go in and it'll give you this, but here's what I care about. Do you see where it says capacity?
Yeah.
Yes.
We see where it says capacity?
Right.
Capacity. If you bought a 16 gig phone, it doesn't say 16 gigs there, does it? It says about 12, right?
13.
If you bought a 32 gig phone, it doesn't say 32, it says about 27, right?
That's just 13.
No, that's what's called formatted capacity. That's called formatted capacity. The formatted capacity of 32 gigs is only about 27 usable gigs. To give you an idea, the formatted capacity of a 256 gig phone is only 248 gigs. So I lose 8 gigs in the formatted capacity, just to give you a little logic there. But that's not what I care about. I care about available. Do we all have at least 2 gigs of available capacity?
Yeah.
That's 55.
55. At least 2. 55 is more than 2. We're okay.
1.89.
1.89. What we got?
She's got 4. How much?
She's got 4. She's okay. That's more than 2. Here's the thing. If you have less than 2 gigs free, your device is going to slow down. So your device is probably starting to slow down a bit. If you free up some of the space with Google Photos, you'll be okay. It is about time to upgrade that phone, though. Is that a 5 or a 5S?
5.
So my limiting factor, I used to tell people, last year the limiting factor was if your phone did not have the lightning connector, it was time to upgrade. Now, and this is something we're going to talk about tomorrow, if your phone does not have Touch ID, the fingerprint thing, it's time to upgrade. So 5S is the oldest phone I'd stick around with now, to be completely honest. And here's the thing, if you're thinking about iPhone 8 and you want a wireless charging on your iPhone, technically you can already get it.
Yeah, but the camera thing bothers me.
Okay, the camera thing bothers you. That's okay. And remember, if you're shopping for a new iPhone, the answer is the Plus. Or if you don't want the Plus, you get the Plus. Or if you really don't want the Plus, you know what you get?
The plus.
The Plus. And a minimum in a new purchase of 128 gigs. Trust me, my cabinet, the top cabinet there, is filled with 32 gig iPad Pros that nobody wants. Minimum 128 gigs. Trust me. Okay, so we forgot, how many apps are on your device?
251.
251.
139.
139. Can you maybe beat 333?
Whereabouts is that?
I've got 50.
Up on the top a little bit more.
51.
Should say applications.
Oh, yeah, 54.
54. Okay. I have, at the end of when I got rid of my iPhone 6S, I actually had 750 apps on it.
Gee.
Oh my God.
I only have 333 now. So I only have 333 now. But realistically, I only use a very small number of those apps every single day.
There's no harm in having a lot, though.
There's no harm in having a lot.
Because somebody told me it was, but it's not
Yeah,
really, is it?
okay.
No.
No need.
Well, it chews up memory.
Chews up a little bit of memory, but not really. The thing that takes up more memory than anything else is your pictures and videos. And they're still loading. It's okay. Leave it to load. The next thing I want to talk about is the version number. What's your version? 10.3.1 is the newest.
No, 10.2.
I have 10.2.1 because I don't want to update on the ship.
Okay, 10.3.1 is the newest. When you get home, do your update.
So, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. When you get home, you want to go ahead and do your update.
What is the new one? 10.3.
10.3.1 is the newest.
10.1.
It came out about the 3rd day of this cruise, so none of you should have it. I'm just saying. It came out about the 3rd day of
is
this
that what it
cruise.
is?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it, yeah.
You don't need to do it on the ship.
We were told on one cruise in one of these classes that if your device is a certain hit, that you should only update like 2 or 3 updates past what your phone came with, because otherwise it stops working right.
Remember who told you that?
No.
Okay, so here's the
It
answer to that
wasn't
question.
you.
Wasn't me.
We just met you.
Was he more or less handsome? Okay, there we go. That's the right answer. Do you know
I don't remember, to be honest.
Philippines?
Maybe,
Probably.
it was on the equinox.
About when?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Francis, little short Filipino guy?
I don't remember,
Yeah.
to be
He's gonna
honest.
be fired now.
Yeah. No, here's the simple metric. The answer is there is a period, like I will tell you, that Apple stopped supporting. Like he has an iPad 3, and his iPad 3 can't get iOS 10.
Right.
Apple has been a lot more proactive. It used to be that way. Now Apple cuts off the devices before they're affected.
Okay.
Yes, it was that way. So iOS 9, if you ran iOS 9 on an iPhone 4, good luck.
Okay.
But the simple answer is if you have at least an iPhone 6, you will be comfortably good through iOS 12.
Okay.
And yes, it is a forced obsolescence that Apple tries to do. Now I've got one or two more things I want to talk about. So how much space do you need free? We're going to talk about internal versus external storage. Something we're going to talk about tomorrow is a really cool gadget that I have in the bottom of my bag. This guy right here. This is a wireless flash drive. That's what this is. It's a fully wireless flash drive. It's from a company called SanDisk, and it's a fully wireless flash drive. Now, the problem is this is external storage. Now, why I say that, we have one friend in the room that has a Samsung device, and you have a Samsung device. Yeah, I know you have an iPhone right now, but don't play. He's got a Samsung device. And do you use an SD card in your Samsung device?
They changed that model to model, so no, not on this.
Not in that one. But a lot of the Android devices have external storage you can add, an SD card or something like that. We're going to talk about this. The thing is, you want to have as much internal storage as you can on your device. Because if you take a panorama on your phone is not fast enough to put a panorama on an SD card. It can't put a burst of photos on an SD card. That's why I'm saying you want to start with a minimum of 128 gigs. Why Apple doesn't allow you to expand the storage on an Android phone? Yes. Can you put an extra 200 gigs on with the flash card? Yes. Can you put apps on that flash drive? Can you put burst pictures on that flash drive? No. See, the idea behind the internal versus external storage is on that 128 gigs on a device I'm telling you to get, you can put anything you want on there. If you go out and you buy a 16 gig Android phone and you have an SD card, so you go, I can put as big of an SD card as I want, but you can't put apps on there, you can't do all of that. So I will tell you, it is one of the reasons I will not be purchasing a Galaxy S8. So this Galaxy S6, this is my Samsung phone that I have, it has 32 gigs of storage. And I was like, okay, it's got 32 gigs of storage, but it has a slot for a micro SD card. One of the things I got big into is virtual reality video. This VR video that you can look all the way around and stuff like that. That is 1 gig a minute. And it is not fast enough to put that on the external storage. So what good is this phone to me? No good at what I'm doing. The Samsung Galaxy S8 only comes with 64 gigs of storage. If you want to add additional, you can put in an SD card and you can add additional storage, but guess what? It's too slow to do a lot of things. So the reason, it's the bus speed. That's the reason Apple has the internal storage. Last thing we're going to talk about today. I want you to scroll down to where it says serial number. This is our last discussion for the day. It's going to take about 3-4 minutes, and then we're good. You see where it says serial number? Do you know where our serial number is? That if you lose your device, you might have the serial number on your box, on your receipt, and your email from when you bought it, different places like that. We agree?
Where is it?
Scroll down and about. You'll see serial number down at the bottom.
That's it. Oh, on about.
Settings, general, about,
Serial number.
serial number. That's your serial number of your device. If your device gets stolen, what is the use of the serial number?
They can shut the phone down, right?
Nothing.
Huh?
The entire purpose of that serial number is if someone finds your device, they can look in a database and say, okay, this phone belongs to this person and different things like that. But the serial number is something you have all over. There's something extremely more important than the serial number. It's called the Wi-Fi address. Do you see that there?
Yes.
It's called your Wi-Fi address, also known as your MAC address, which stands for Machine Authentication Control Address. It is the serial number of your Wi-Fi card. You've probably noticed if you log in on a new email provider for the first time, it says, we don't recognize this device. You need to do some additional verification. When you sign in, it sends to the provider your username, your password, and your Wi-Fi address. So why I like to tell this story is all of my devices I have the Wi-Fi address of. And if I leave my device somewhere on the ship, I will tell you this phone, I have on the table, some person took it by mistake about a month and a half ago. Some guy took it by mistake because he thought it was his phone. I knew the Wi-Fi address of this phone. I actually tracked it around the ship using the Wi-Fi address. I saw it go to the theater. I saw it go to the ocean view. Then the guy eventually went to guest relations. I get a call from guest relations. I go, someone has my phone, don't they? Here's the thing. The Wi-Fi address is much more important than the serial number, because if you need to file a police report or something like that, the Wi-Fi address lets you track the phone. Once or twice a cruise, someone comes to me. We do not actively do what I'm about to say. I don't want to scare you. I would be the first one to tell you. We don't actively track your devices based on the Wi-Fi address. But if I needed to find a lost device, guess what? As long as you've logged into the Wi-Fi, every time you log into the Wi-Fi on the ship, we record your Wi-Fi address. Now, Disney does this maliciously.
What?
When you go into a Disney park and you connect to Wi-Fi in a Disney park, they track you through the entire park, track all of your spending, track all of your rides. That's why these places provide free Wi-Fi, just FYI. Places that provide free Wi-Fi are providing free Wi-Fi to get information and follow the guest flow. So they can see where you go and everything like that, because that Wi-Fi address is unique for every single person. So just think, you're signing into a hotel's Wi-Fi, you're giving them your name and your cabin number, and they can trace you. We are not tracing you. I have no reason to trace you. I know you're on a ship. I don't care. But just imagine that for a second, if we could trace via Wi-Fi addresses. So the one thing I want you to know how to do, and then we're done for today, is to make a copy of that Wi-Fi address.
Mine won't show up.
It's because you're zoomed. We'll get there a bit. I'll show you that a bit later.
Has
If you're zoomed,
has three dots
Is
on
that
it.
just as good as Find My Phone?
this is a little different than Find My Phone. This is going to allow you, if you turn this in with a police report, they can file it with Facebook and Google, and if someone logs into that device with Facebook or Google, it will actually flag it as stolen. It is essentially the serial number of the Wi-Fi card on your device. So if you can see the entire address, if you can't, we'll talk about that tomorrow before the class. If you can see the entire address, you might have turned on bold print, you're just going to take a screenshot of it by pressing the power button and the home button at the same time. And it's going to take a screenshot of it. And that's automatically going to a folder called Screenshots in your Google Photos. So you can always give,
We pull it up first? We pull it up first, or just take a picture of the whole page?
Just take a picture of the whole page.
Oh, okay.
Take a picture of the whole page, and if I go into Google Photos, I'll show you what's cool. I go into Google Photos, and there's actually something that says Screenshots, and inside the screenshots I have the names and the Wi-Fi addresses of all of my devices. Just to give you a quick concept.
But we need to be out of Zoom, right?
Yes, we'll talk about the Zoom. I'll get that before the class
Oh, you would
tomorrow.
go to another device to.
You would go to another device and you get it.
Right.
Tomorrow, we are going to start with invert colors, just so you know what's going on tomorrow, which is how you see your device outside. We're going to talk about reduced motion, which is a thing to get more battery life. We're going to talk about guided access, which is the absolute most difficult thing that we're going to do the entire cruise, because you have to triple click on your home button to get it to go. We'll talk about that. Don't try triple click.
I'll tell you a story tomorrow about when I accidentally did that.
You accidentally put on guided
She
access?
wouldn't shut up.
Yeah. She didn't shut up. But we're going to go through the rest of this list, as well as we're going to be talking about some advanced apps. So we're going to talk about the SanDisk wireless flash drive, as well as one of the worst pieces of software Apple makes, in my opinion, and I know some of you are not going to agree with me, is iTunes. Well, no, we're not talking about the worst. We're talking about one of the worst. Photos is the worst. That's why I teach Google Photos instead. But a lot of people, iTunes is very confusing. I'm going to show you how to put content on your iPhone or iPad without iTunes.
Oh, I would love that. Oh,
Without iTunes. So I'm going to show you an app that will allow you to do that. So the second part of this class is not printed out yet. We're also going to talk about AirDrop, as well as Do Not Disturb, and some different things like that. The problem was I wanted to get through all of the gadgets today, which I successfully got through. So tomorrow we've got Gmail at 1 o'clock. Even if you already have a Gmail account, I'm going to explain to you how Gmail automatically sorts your email, the logic for telling people you have a new email address. And it's not just called Gmail, it's called Gmail and more. I have a couple of gadgets I'm going to bring to the Gmail class as well to give you an idea of what's going on, as well as give you an overview. I don't think some of you have found it yet, but everything that we do is on iLearnReview.com. I'm being very religiously strict about that. I am the only one right now that knows about this. I have a conference call on the 18th where I'm going to tell all the other managers across the fleet about it. They'll either love it or they'll hate it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to catalog what we're doing here so the whole rest of the fleet can see what we're doing here. So everybody else can see what we're doing here, and they can bring it to the Equinox where you're going and different things like that. My old assistant was on the Equinox, but she's leaving like at the end of this week, so I don't know who's going there after that. But that's it for today. I will see you guys at 1 o'clock tomorrow in Celebrity Central, and back here at 3:30 tomorrow. We're going to wrap everything up. Bye!